we have a special treat. This is 17's documentary, How K-Pop's First Self-Produced Group Was Born, Episode 1. As always, if you want to watch 17 music video reactions, performance reactions, there's almost 1,000 music video performance reactions and reality show reactions with 17, NCT, AT, Stray Kids, EXO, BTS, and Hype, and Blackpink, TXT. There's also Naruto reactions. There's Game Kidders episode with High Game Kidders 17. There's also 17 Game Kidders. So everything else is available in the description. Also, if you want to recommend me videos like this or music videos from your favorite group or TikTok compilations, every reaction that I do is recommended by you guys. If you want to recommend me the next video, the next reaction, click the link in the description for a Patreon. And you can also recommend me your videos plus thousands of music video performances and reality show reactions. They're gonna have that group image.
Before 17 had a stage, they had a camera.
Played a huge role.
From 2013 to 2015, a live stream called 17 TV became the only way to promote themselves before debut. Pledis promoted it as a reality show, but in truth, it was just a single security camera pointed at their practice room.
DK. Mingyu, so good. Oh my gosh, Hoshi, Dino. Wait, the baby, what am I missing here?
Room and few vlogs. No scripts, no edits. Just raw, unfiltered life. For 2 whole years, fans watched these boys train, laugh, mess around, argue, and grow. At first, most people didn't even know their names, so fans gave them nicknames like Mr. Beanie or Tall Guy, just to tell them apart.
Tall Guy.
But slowly, as episodes passed, the trainees began introducing themselves one by one. That's part of what made 17 TV so special. It wasn't flashy, it wasn't polished, it was real. They weren't trying to be idols, they were just boys, having fun while chasing a dream.
Wow, that's true to this day. They weren't trying to be idols, they're just having fun while chasing a dream. Doesn't that describe 17 so much?
The practice room felt like a second home, and for many fans, tuning into 17 TV became a comforting daily habit, like background noise after school or work. Just like how mukbangs later became a way to fight loneliness, 17 TV gave people something to connect with. 13 kids who felt like friends. What made it even more interactive was the way fans shaped the content. The boys would read live comments and choose which songs to cover based on fan requests. They performed little recitals, called fans on the phone to talk with them directly, and even invited those who were watching the stream to come visit the practice room and watch them live. Even before debut, the talent was undeniable. With every dance practice, every harmony, every freestyle rap, they showed their potential as not just trainees, but future stars.
How crazy is that for the people who saw them practice?
Weren't just random kids.
Early days.
They were high-quality performers already.
Copyrighted content like vlogs, TV show reactions, music video reactions, performance reactions, all the copyrighted content and TikTok reactions without any edits. Click the link in the description for Patreon. Thank you. What's cool about this is you can see them practicing, also just see them be kids as practicing. It reminds you of like if you did certain kind of theaters or certain dance practices, this was the feel, but they're just way more talented. Thank you. I never knew they did the dance like this. Girls. Mama. Ah. Hey. Oh, this is so funny, dude. Robbie, baby. The voice just hasn't matured yet. I mean, to do with that. Hey. 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 This looks, yeah, this looks cool. Hey. Funny. Hey. Hey. Oh, that was cool. You see, now with this choreo, they're coming to the point where it looks like if they did this on stage with the normal breath of lighting and a suit, this looks better than anything. What? This is one of the coolest choreos I've seen.
Two songs stored on their iCloud accounts, original tracks they wrote and composed for 17 TV, separate from their many covers. And then 17 Project, debut Big Plan, premiered on NBC, one of South Korea's biggest broadcasting networks. In collaboration,
You get that ring and you think this is, what I worked for. This represents family and being able to debut artists and take it away. Maybe this was also something that was needed to push them to the next stage. I don't know, Sunko, you see faces like that. How badly somebody wants something, how seriously they're taking all this, how badly they want it. I think that's the word. Look at DK's face. Look at that. Doesn't that make it work?
of 7 intense episodes, the boys poured everything they had into their music.
Yeah.
They didn't just perform.
The recent reaction video, Renan said something similar to we really danced to in the brink of death there. Like we were ready to give it all. I see it in the face.
Created. They composed, choreographed, and prepared everything themselves.
Woozy is literally the self-producing part. And I don't know if 17 is the sole self-producing, I don't know if 17 is the self-producing like a group just by itself. There's probably a few more, but I think there's nobody compares to 17 in terms of success, how successful they became, and who created their own image through these. It wasn't necessarily told by bigger, like if they're under hype, if they're under, from the beginning, or if they're under like big groups from the beginning, they would have had a certain kind of image. They would be told, write these types of lyrics or fit this types of image. You're supposed to have this type of personality, but no, it was self-made, self-produced, everything. Also, it gives us a certain kind of insight of like what we see on stage in the early days or in the later days. Now, even what we see the polished work, and now seeing these backgrounds of Woozy producing, Hoshi making all the performances, and everybody's gonna have their personal issues. Somebody is gonna be injured, somebody's gonna have a harder time. There's hours and hours of practice that we see on stage that was done, and then it makes you appreciate the performances way more, especially now seeing how they come up. Makes you appreciate every single song and performances.
May 26, 2015, their official debut day. In front of a live audience and their families, 17 performed 2 songs. The first was Shining Diamond, a pre-debut anthem co-written by Woozi, S-Kuz, and Vernon. The performance began with Jun's iconic line,
Their family was there too. Imagine being
more
their
than just a
parents
lyric.
and seeing this.
It was a message. To be a 17 fan is to be welcomed into the Diamond life, a symbol of luxury, excellence, and earned value.
Cares.
Just like diamonds are formed under intense pressure, 17 was molded by years of tireless training, sacrifice, and hope. They weren't presented as born geniuses. They were artists who had built themselves from the ground up. And then,
뒤를 돌아.
Copyrighted content like vlogs, TV show reactions, music video reactions, performance reactions, all the copyrighted content and TikTok reactions without any edits. Click the link in the description for Patreon. Thank you.
remember
They
how
wanted to
17
become stars
performed
and
2
they've done
songs on
it.
their debut stage? We've talked about Shining Diamond, their symbolic pre-debut track. But the second song they performed that day was
Adore
Adore
You.
You, their official debut single. To tell the story of Adore You, though, we need to go back before debut. Right after 17 Project ended, Pledis dropped a teaser.
But now keep in mind, like even after that, nothing is guaranteed. The company they're in, they're not as big as other groups. So even though that was an emotional moment, there's so many more mountains ahead, challenges ahead.
Yeah, that was their original debut concept. Back then, the K-pop scene, especially among male groups, was ruled by darker, edgier concepts.
I've never seen that before. Why is it funny to see this now? Oh, he's from Ireland. I've heard this before. Fantastic, baby.
Everyone wanted to look tough, emotionally heavy, intimidating. So naturally, Pledis thought, let's follow the trend. But if you had been watching 17 TV or 17 Project, you'd know that was not who 17 really was. They were not born to be brooding. They were joyful, energetic, bright, and most of all, authentic. So at the last minute, Pledis reconsidered. They turned to the members and asked, what if you made the music yourselves? It was not a random idea. Pledis had originally planned to hire an outside producer to craft 17's debut, Reimer, the CEO of Brand New Music. Reimer was invited to one of the 17 TV performances. What he saw blew him away. They were just trainees, he later recalled, but in that tiny room they created an entire performance.
Wow.
Music, choreography, on their own.
That was a decision
My hands
that
just clapped on their own.
changed
So
everything
instead of
to him.
taking control, Reimer offered something else. Guidance. He invited 17 to his company to work with his producers. When he heard the members' own compositions, especially from Woozi, he was floored. They're so good, he told Pledis. You could release an entire album just with their songs. And that's exactly what happened. Woozi knew they didn't have the resources to create a massive debut from scratch. So instead, they handed the reins to the members. 17 would self-produce everything. Not just music, but choreography, concept, performance,
Pledis'
music
whole
video.
future
Of course, they weren't
was
entirely
also
alone.
dependent on 17.
They worked
too.
closely with performance director Eileen, who became a mentor to Woozi, guiding him in songwriting and production.
All of them must be
To this
so
day,
proud of them.
Woozi remains 17's main producer. It had never been done before. Yes, some groups contributed to writing lyrics or choreography, but never in K-pop history had a group been in charge of everything, from start to
Truly
finish.
self-produced.
And that's how Adore You was born.
Imagine if they went the other route.
And this creative spark had roots. Long before 17 debuted, there were idol pioneers who paved the way for artists to take creative control over their music. Second-generation idols like G-Dragon of Big Bang,
Think about the whole scenario, right? Their future depends on this. The whole company Pledis future depends on this amount of money they invested into 17. So this has to become successful. And to self-produce everything going against the standards that the K-pop industry has provided them. Right? So they're trying completely new. It's absolutely risky behavior. It would have been the normal thing to do if they just conform to the norm and try to be whatever the industry was doing at that time and try to follow that. But they said, no, we'll take all the responsibility on our back. We'll create our choreography. We will create our music. We will direct our videos. We will produce our everything. We will edit our own videos and done by all the members. We're going to take all that work. And plus, think about every other group that was probably from the bigger groups who were getting their stuff being produced, music video. They have so many more workers now, but plus they have to perform, remember the lyrics and everything, plus to everything that all the artists have to do, they have to do way more. The producing, the directing, those are individual professional jobs that they have besides the artists. So they took all that role and jobs themselves.
members. The performance unit designed their routines. The vocal unit created ballad and a cappella versions of 17 songs to reach a broader audience. The hip-hop unit worked on lyrics and flow, constantly sharpening their skills. The members were involved in every detail. They participated in comeback planning, helped design their merchandise, and directly engaged with fans. Seungkwan, in particular, went above and beyond. He personally contacted variety show producers to ask for chances to promote 17. His charisma and comedic timing caught people's attention. Many fans discovered 17 through his variety show appearance.
The variety show kings, this is where they appeared to. Yes, Seungkwan needed this moment to shine. Seungkwan also plays a huge role, I think, bringing attention and views.
Even now, the group credits Seungkwan's relentless promotion as a major reason for their early popularity. Their international members also played crucial roles. Joshua and Vernon worked hard to communicate with English-speaking fans, while Jun and the 8 made sure to connect with Chinese fans through native apps and platforms. This helped 17 build a global fan base right from the start. That's why 17 became known as the first self-producing idol group in K-pop.
작사, 작곡, 퍼포먼스 한 땀 한 땀 가내수공업하는 장인들인데요. 자, 국내 유일 자체 제작돌 세븐틴!
But that title came with a price. In recent interviews, the members admitted they never planned to become a self-producing group. They were pushed into it. If they wanted to debut at all, they had to take charge. They felt cornered by their agency, so they stepped up.
본인이 생각하는 프로듀서로서의 무지는 어떤 사람이에요?
막 그렇게 얘기해 주니까 엄청 대단한 것처럼 막 이렇게 느껴지지만 저는 솔직히 진짜 거짓말 안 하고 아직까지도 그 프로듀서라는 명칭이 너무 부담스러워요.
왜요? 제작하고 있는데 프로듀서지.
어떤 의미로 부담스럽냐면은 그냥 이런 생각이 있어요. 애초에 이 팀의 프로듀서를 하려고 했던 사람조차 아니고 난 이 세븐틴이라는 팀의 한 멤버일 뿐이야. 각자 잘하는 것이 있고 각자 보여줄 수 있는 위치가 있고 각자의 무기가 다 다르다고 생각하는데 그중에 나는 이것이 뿐인 거고 그렇기 때문에 이렇게 멤버들을 뒤에서 서포트해주고 멤버들을 더 빛나게 만들려고 노력해왔고 함께 있는 팀의 일원일 뿐이지 이 프로듀서 이런 일에 뭔가 야 이거 멋있는 느낌인데 이렇게 생각해 본 적이
그렇죠.
없어요, 진짜로. 맨 처음에 데뷔하는데 회사에서 이제 자체 제작돌. 아, 이렇게 기사 나가야 되냐고, 팀 이름이. 아, 나 너무 부담스럽다. 그냥, 아니, 우리 좋아하시는 분들 중에 아시게 되면, 아, 이거 멤버가 쓴 거구나. 아시게 되지 않을까? 난 이걸 왜 이렇게 떠벌리고 다녀야 되는지 모르겠다.
그럴 수 있지.
근데 이제 회사에서 이게 뭐 너무 그렇게 과하지 않도록 잘 조절해 보겠다 하고서 지금 9년 차인데 계속 자체 제작돌로.
Adore You was the perfect debut track. Catchy, lighthearted, and full of youthful charm, the song captured the feeling of falling in love for the first time. Sweet, awkward, and unforgettable. Its message was clear. 17 was not trying to be someone else. They were just being themselves.
Yeah, it
Their
had their
debut
own
music
image
video
to it.
reached
This is such a
900,000
17
views in
song.
its first week. An impressive feat for a group with no major promotions or funding behind them. But still, Pledis made a crucial mistake. Due to poor planning and tight budgets, they delayed all fan events until the second week of promotions. An unusual and risky move. Because of this, 17 Carat sold only 1,600 copies in its first week. But things started to change. The energy was contagious. Their vibe was different. While most boy groups in 2015 leaned into dark, edgy, and intense concepts, 17 showed up with bright colors, funky moves, and fun. And indeed, the music video was the definition of I've got $5 and a dream. Green screen, dollar store props, and pure charisma. 3 days after their debut stage, their first mini-album, 17 Carat, dropped. 5 tracks co-written and co-produced by the members. Its concept? The passion
really
of
is
boys.
an underdog
By the end of their
story.
first month, 17 Carat had sold over 19,000 copies, becoming the highest-selling debut album of the year by a rookie
Wow.
group. So what made 17 so special? They debuted not only as a full group, but also divided into 3 specialized units. Hip-hop unit, vocal unit, and
They
performance.
risked it all by being self-producing, and it paid.
Things no other group could. Dynamic choreography, simultaneous promotional activities, and music that highlighted each member's strengths. But this advantage was also their biggest early obstacle. Many casual K-pop fans were intimidated. 13 members? That's too many to learn. Worse, Pledis Entertainment was struggling. Already known for mismanaging talented groups like After School and New West, the company had limited resources and a lot on its plate. When 17 debuted, Pledis was operating out of a 2-story house, already housing multiple groups. They were planning to move into a new building, so nearly all available funding went toward that move, and the 17 Project reality show. That
Middle of the day. Plus, you think about all the choreos they're doing, burning thousands of calories during this time.
the members scraped together money for 2 wired earphones, which were given to main vocalists DK and Sungkwon.
Plus, they're being self-producing, choreographing everything themselves.
They just kept showing up, with energy, humility, and fierce determination. They were kids, many of them still in high school, but they carried themselves like pros. Radio shows, music shows,
That saying of
fan signs.
they're just boys
Wherever
with
they
a
went,
passion.
they showed up with a smile. They didn't have a lot, but they had each other in this dream. And with this same energy, they marched straight into their very first comeback. Almost 4 months after their debut, 17 came back with their second mini-album, Boys Be. The album featured 5 new tracks and was led by the title song Mansei, which in Korean means eye-catching formations.
Hong Kong brimmed with excitement as K-pop fans cheered at the sight of their favorite performers at Mama, a huge event which is now in its 16th year.
The Mama Awards are one of the most prestigious events in the Asian music industry, with a legacy dating back to 1999. Held in cities across Asia like Seoul, Hong Kong, Japan, Singapore, and Vietnam, Mama brings together the biggest names of the industry for a night of unforgettable performances and career-defining recognition. Among the most coveted titles are the Daesung's Artist of the Year, Song of the Year, and Album of the Year. Winning a Daesung can catapult a group's career to new heights, attracting global attention and solidifying their place in K-pop history. On December 2nd, 2015, the rookie group 17 was invited to attend the Mama Awards in Hong Kong. It was their very first time at such a massive event. Nervous, but excited, they were there to witness the legends they had admired for so long, and to perform in front of the world for the very first time. They took the stage with Man. In December of 2015, 17 released their very first collaboration track, Q&A, featuring SQs, Woozi, and Vernon, alongside South Korean-American singer-songwriter Ailey. Ailey, who had previously appeared as a judge on 17 Project, shared how close she was to Woozi and S-Coups, having trained with them back in 2012. Between December 24th and 26th, 17 held their very first solo concerts titled Boys Wish in Seoul. Over the span of 4 shows, they performed for nearly 3,200 fans, each concert packed with energy, heart, and the dreams of 13 boys who had spent years preparing for this moment. They ended 2015, their debut year, not with flashy awards or chart-topping hits, but with something far more powerful: a rapidly growing fan base, industry respect, and a rock-solid bond as a group. It was a humble beginning, but it was also the spark of a group that would go on to redefine what it means to be a K-pop idol. This was only the beginning.
Oh, that was it. This was so good. Was there 2 episodes? If think there was one more episode for this. That saying from the beginning, when he said they were just boys with a big dream and passion and having fun while they're doing stuff, that rings so true. This was released only 2 weeks ago, so there's no more episodes. Subscribed. Read this. This is so true. While 17 is probably the not very first idol group to produce their own music, I would argue they're definitely the first idol group that were able to create their own identity, specifically curated to themselves alone without needing big corporations telling them what their direction they should get into. Because of Woozi's ability to produce music based on his emotional understanding of his members, their choreographers' willingness to cooperate and put ideas from members like Hoshi Dino into their dances, and every member's competitive strive to become something bigger than just an idol group, they were successful. Yes. Oh my gosh. I see the hunger in the eyes from the recent footages. That was they successfully, as Scoops would say, built a building from a basement unit, and they did it all under a company that was midst of going bankrupt. Truly the most inspiring thing about the boys of 17 is although they knew their own harsh conditions and the risks of being in a smaller company with less money, all 13 fully believed in each other, what they could achieve, which resulted with the group with no members being left behind. Yeah. And also there's the footages of them having fun while they were struggling so much, and when he said they didn't play the card of being an underdog as their marketing strategy, they actually just had fun and they had their own energy, which just embodied kind of who they are as a person as well.